Hey folks, getting a lot of commentary. I appreciate it. Busy, so I want to highlight something which is extremely important. Chris Murphy's on the Senate floor making a total fool out of himself. We've been talking about these issues for 6 months. They're old issues, but no one in Connecticut seems to care. But when you look, let's go over it. Watch this. This is Pressley from Boston. A friend of mine, Rayla Campbell, ran against her for Congress and lost, but
was criminalized and targeted by the police officers responsible for keeping them safe.
It's time to get police officers out of our schools.
More than half of our public schools and nearly 90% of high schools across the country have a school resource officer, commonly known as SROs.
Chris Murphy wants to remove officers from schools. Now, there were 2 bomb threats today in Norwalk. There were 21 weapons removed from the Brooklyn High School yesterday from the metal detector when the students passed through. 1 handgun, brass knuckles, 15 knives, okay? So, there was a stabbing, 2 stabbings, 1 in Boston yesterday, and 1 in Connecticut today, I think Hamden. But I just want to describe how far out of touch Chris Murphy is. Maybe show you what the news feeds are saying. These are all the articles about Chris Murphy today. Okay? Senator Murphy, whose state had Sandy Hook shooting, wants to remove SROs. Why kids so messed up? Murphy thinks cops in school mess kids up. You want to see that? I mean, follow what I'm doing. Journal inquiry. Well, these are the Sandy Hook kids. This is the Facebook page of Murphy. This is Pressley speaking. Again, hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this video.
At school every single year, and a disproportionate number of these students are Black and Latino.
Schools are supposed to be safe havens for all our students.
Excuse me. I'm beyond words here. Murphy, Warren, Pressley, and Omar introduced legislation to get police out of school. Let's switch that. Okay, here we go. Murphy, co-sponsored with Elizabeth Warren, both members of the U.S. Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee. Now, Chris Murphy is in charge. He's on the Foreign Relations Committee, messing up Iran, Iraq, Ukraine, Ethiopia, the Houthis in Yemen. He's got so much crap on his plate. He's destroying the world. Here we go. Wednesday, unveiled legislation that would prohibit federal funds for police in schools, diverting existing resources towards the use of counselors, social workers, and other services. Now, hold on a second. Last year, Norwalk had a AK-47 guy working in the kitchen who said to his a fellow employee, he said, if I wear camos tomorrow, I'm going to come to school and shoot everyone. Well, hold on a second. My son went there. Okay, that was my son's school. Now he's at UConn. But what did Norwalk do? They grabbed him. They didn't prosecute him. They said he was a mental health patient. And they led him back to the school, knowing that when he came to school with camos on, they searched his car, found the gun, and it was totally mishandled. So I confronted the the head school guy. And he told me he didn't have any input. He referred it to the police. The police said they referred it to the mayor, and the mayor returned it back to someone else, some mental health professional. And the guy was back in school the next day after having a gun in his trunk at my son's school. I say to myself, these people are not thinking clearly. There's ample evidence here that Chris Murphy is totally out of touch with reality and should be removed from the Senate. After all, he committed treason twice. He met with Iran secretly. He threatened Ukraine. Here we go. He's saying police should not be in schools. There are plenty of better ways to ensure that our schools are safe. In the wake of a horrific school shooting, many schools hired police officers to enhance the peace of mind of parents. Yes, it's the parents' choice. This guy should have absolutely nothing to do with the trauma created by U.S. senators ruining the country and bankrupting the country. Build Back Better is a bankruptcy plan. The Affordable Care Act is a nightmare. The Iran deal's a nightmare. They're pushing that. Every single piece of legislation that the Democrats are pushing will probably end up getting us killed or our children. Toot sweet. So, I hate to tell you folks, but the news is so disturbing today. I'm just going to shut it off, which has never really happened before. But to listen to my Senator, Chris Murphy, for one more minute, I just can't handle it. Removing police officers. There were 31 fights at Brian McMahon High School down the street last year. 31 gang fights. The gangs are running these schools, folks. The girls are afraid to talk back to the Latinos because they don't want their hair ripped out of their head. Oh, there's an interesting thing I want to show you on my phone. You got to read it. I'll send it to you, but listen to this. A girl gave me this. Listen carefully. I'm going to read it to you. I took a picture of it. Here it is. I'm going to read it to you. Here we go. Here we go. This is a Broadway actor, a 15-year-old girl. I went to the grocery store shopping with my mom last week, and she put a box of tampons in the cart. I don't know if you can see that. Handwritten by a 15-year-old girl. Okay? They were right there for everyone to see. Right on top of the Pop-Tarts. I pretended like I didn't notice. But when we got to the checkout, I saw Dan so-and-so was bagging. She went to high school with the bagger. He's in my English class. He saw the tampons right away and smiled at me real big, like they were my tampons. I pretended like I didn't see him, but the next day he stopped in front of me by my locker and said, "How those tampons work out for your old lady?" I pretended like I didn't hear him. He said it again louder so everyone could hear. "Hey, how's those tampons working out for your old lady?" So I said, "Menstruation is a natural part of a woman's life cycle. I'm sure your mother menstruates too." And he turned bright red and said I shouldn't be talking about his mother and that I should shut my mouth. Then he beat her. Then he beat the hell out of me. This is what a girl who's 15 said about a boy who was at the checkout counter and in her class and confronted her at her locker. He says, "Then he beat the hell out of me. I pretended like it didn't hurt." This is an outstanding 15-year-old girl who's a real class act. She auditioned for a Broadway show and came in 5th as a girl in a man's lead in a Broadway show right now on Broadway. So what I'm saying is, this is a problem I encountered from a girl I know, and this is an ordinary course of event at a high school where things escalate. Now, why did a boy beat the hell out of a girl on my phone? I can show you the damn text. And it's a normal, everyday thing where bullies operate at the school. I had bullies in my class. They're much shorter than me now. I was a late bloomer, folks. I'd like a rematch. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I just want to explain how high schooler kids have pressure. Bullies have used pressure. And in this case, a young lady who shouldn't be questioned that way. The boy's certainly not a gentleman. But just to prove a point about an honestly true occurrence of this week, how Chris Murphy could be so wrong that things get out of hand and kids get injured or worse. And we need officers in schools these days because there's no safety. You can't feel safe at a school. I could tell you stories. I have lots of them. People are contacting me all day long about their problems. I wish I could help them. And I thank you very much. I'm at 12 minutes. Let's leave it at that. But Chris Murphy's got to go. Vote him out. Vote out every single congressional candidate in Connecticut and New England for that matter. Every single one's got to go. If you follow my page, you'll learn about Debate Tourney, and you can watch the debates of all the congressional candidates across the nation who will do well. Chris Murphy is so far out of touch with reality, he should not be our foreign relations specialist with Iran. Seeing that our other Senator Blumenthal wrote the Iran deal, Chris Murphy is trusting terrorists. That's how warped he is. Have a great day.